You're watching West Wednesday, Justice for Tyrone West and Justice for all victims of police brutality. Tawanda, it's all you.
Thank you guys. So tonight we don't have any special guests, and that's because I want to focus on a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to be all over the place and interrupting someone because there's a lot on my mind and heart. And then I also want to ask you guys for help supporting an event of my sister fighting for accountability for Xavier. We'll be talking about that. So I just want you guys to tune in, and we'll be back momentarily after we play the video that we play whenever we're online. Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Can't stop, won't stop, till killer cops are in cell blocks. Can't stop.
The following video portrays an incident of assault and violence at the hands of police. Viewer discretion is advised.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No.
This is Baltimore City Police Officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz. In a video shot in 2016, Ruiz is seen with his knee on the back of an unknown man with a gun pointed at the man's head. His message was a clear one. Concerned onlookers, adhere to my dictates or else. Here, we can hear Ruiz saying to Baltimore residents,
I suggest you back the fuck up. No.
It is documented that Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender, even without access to all complaints against Ruiz, undisclosed by BPD Internal Affairs records. 6 cases involving Ruiz are known. This video will briefly highlight 6 total cases beginning in July of 2013. Case 1, Abdul Salam, July 1st, 2013. Here Salam is seen victoriously smiling in celebration after the jury found Ruiz and 2 other cops liable for brutality against him. However, because the trial was civil, not criminal, Ruiz was not fired and he did not go to jail.
Police profiled me. They followed me in the back of my house, harassing me. Police proceeded to violently and hostilely approach my van with me and my son in it. As I announced, this was my home, guns drawn. Once they reached my vehicle, they violently pulled me out, ramshacked my vehicle with my 3-year-old son strapped in his car seat, threw me against the gate, slammed me repeatedly.
Picked me up by my feet, and while I'm upside down, they proceeded to drop me on my head, hog tie me, and immediately when I fell on my head, Ruiz, in a wrestling type of action, and kind of hit his knee against my neck.
I was arrested. I had no idea what I was being arrested for. My son is scarred to this day. He remembers the incident as it happened yesterday. When he talks about it, he always refers to Daddy being on the floor with police yesterday.
Case 2, Darrell Harris, profiled, as seen in this video, July 17th, 2013.
Yeah, Sid, what's wrong with it? Improper way with it. There's no such thing as an improper way.
You gonna tell me my job, bro?
I know the law.
Are you gonna tell me the law?
I know the law.
You gonna tell me the
I know the law. What's the problem? You giving me a ticket? You need my license registration?
Yeah, let me get it up.
Profile, y'all use the seatbelt as a reason. Profile.
Oh, sorry, do me a favor, take out your keys.
Yeah, you can record me. For what? Nah. I don't feel safe right now. Do you want me to step out the car? Do you want me to step out the car? I'll step out the car. Call the police, man. What do you call a supervisor? I'm about to do shit. This is getting uploaded to the internet right now. Yeah?
And we are 2 law-abiding citizens that we are getting targeted, and I don't know why.
Just 24 hours later, Bernardez Ruiz played a leading role in the police killing of unarmed Tyrone West. Case number 3, the murder of Tyrone West, July 18th, 2013.
My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered on July the 18th, 2013.
In both of these cases, when you look at the pleadings and the harsh language of these officers that have been quoted to me by reliable witnesses, the N-word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman and the rest of those 11 and 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they could never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally murdered, beat to death in broad daylight.
Check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning on. As you heard, my sister and us both announced this is West Wednesday. And as I stated before, I have a lot on my heart. I'm really into my feelings of what's happening, you know, in the world in general. And that's why tonight I asked my guests to actually wait until next week, because I needed this space to just like come and elaborate on stuff. And I think I was kind of looking back to that moment of when my brother Tyrone West was brutally executed on July 18th, 2013. And when yesterday I had an exclusive interview for an upcoming documentary movie that's coming out in November, and I'll keep you guys posted when they're having the viewing and things like that and all that wonderful stuff, and I'll make sure that I share. But just being in that space, and this is so sad, literally having interview after interview and being used to that. Every time certain questions that I'm asked to respond to, it's always that same response. And as much as sometimes I try to hold back tears, I can't. You know, it's just sad. Like, it's disgusting. And you would think, literally, all these years that, you know, the pain would at least ease up some, or like it's nothing. Like, I have not even had a chance to grieve, literally. Because when you're sitting there fighting for accountability, you're sitting there fighting, you know, not just for your brother, because this is not about just Tyrone West. This is about a problem that's systemically happening, and it's happening all over America. And I'm just, you know, like, just caught up with the way things are going right now. It is horrible. And at the end of the day, we are all we got, as Brother Boom always say. You know, and it's just sad that, you know, with us being all we got, it's just like a lot of stuff is happening. Here we are in 2025, not 1916. We're in 2025, and literally, they are still lynching us. And it broke my heart. And you can share the picture, Rachel, whenever you feel free. But it broke my heart to learn about a young college student being hung from a tree. And quickly, they came back with foolishness saying that, oh, no foul play, that, you know, there was a suicide. First of all, I can speak for literally like anybody, lottie-dottie, anybody that is going through something, that want to go through like having suicidal moments or thoughts. I ain't never heard of somebody that says, I want to take my life and, you know, in a lynching way. We know that he was lynched. But see, this is what America does. You know, and it's sad what they did to Trey Reed. That is disgusting. You have a college student, a young man whose life was ahead of them, that they're like, washing away. Why aren't we hearing about that? But every second you turn on a television, they want you to have remorse for this person. And I don't want to see anyone executed for nothing, because like I always say, and I stand by it, I feel like nobody deserves to be brutally murdered or executed. But it's so sad that we're in a world now that, and there's always been that, like by me being an educator and by me loving to teach the young and, just loving the young children, and seeing how innocent they are, seeing how they love up on each other, and they're just so sweet in their thoughts, and they're always complimenting, and they're curious, and they're learning things. Hate is taught, and that's what I want to talk about tonight. Hate is taught. There is no baby born into America, the United Snakes of America. And that's how I feel. This is not the West Coalition speaking. This is Tawanda Jones. I'm speaking off of my mind. They have no idea what I'm going to go out and say every time we come on. So I'm holding them. This is my disclaimer, not connecting them to how I feel. This is my personal feelings, right? But with me saying what I'm saying is no baby is born in this world and they're saying, I hate this, I dislike that. No baby. Hate is something taught. And it is so sad that you would take a precious life, a precious mind, and literally turn a child into a racist. And that is so sad and sickening. That is disgusting. And it seems like white on white crime has taken an all-time toll. And it's always been in existence, but they always want to talk about black on black crime. When Asians kill Asians, that ain't Asian or Asian crime. And it's obviously clear that Caucasians are killing Caucasians. That ain't Caucasian or Caucasian crime. But my whole point, anytime we as brown or black people do anything, we are held to a higher standard, and we're always lowballed and low-graded. But again, for a young man that had his whole life ahead of him, and now for racism to be at the forefront. Like, I remember that when people we always like racism has always existed, and it always was here for over 400 plus years, right? But my point is, at first it was a way that, they would do it. You couldn't just talk and say certain things at any time because that's how you feel. They would have those side conversations where they would have at their family table. Now they're having it at the table when you walk inside of a restaurant. They're having it in schools. They're having it everywhere. It is so sad and disgusting what is happening. And then and I don't mean to be all over the place, but I'm getting things out that's on my mind and it's in my heart. But literally, when I watch that video and I hear, the same video over, and it strikes a different nerve and core every time. And for me to hear when Abdul Salam had came on, and he was one of the first victims that we knew of. Could have been way more, right? But that we knew of, that we can come with the receipt, with the proof, and say, hey, meet Abdul Salam. Ruiz and Chapman and Killer Omar, they pulled this man over in his driveway with his 3-year-old son in the back car as he was literally going in July to go. He just went grocery shopping. He had groceries in the back seat of his car and in the trunk, and his son in the car. And they just went grocery shopping because as they were getting ready and prepared to celebrate the 4th of July. So my whole point is, now you have Killer Ruiz and Chapman pulling this unarmed man, over in his driveway, y'all. Imagine being with your son And then you're a man. Like, I can't speak from a man point of view. I can't even imagine because I'm in a woman lane. But I can only imagine because men, they hold their pride different. They carry things different. It's like America disrespects them so much, it is disgusting. But as a man, I can only imagine the grief, the trauma associated to a man being pulled over, not doing anything wrong, and they're using anything. And that was back then with the zero tolerance foolishness. And I'll repeat it, the zero tolerance foolishness that took my brother's life. They gave them the weapons to kill my brother. They gave them the weapons to beat Abdul Salam in front of his child. And as this man said, look, he didn't even care about how they beat him up, how they, tested his manhood in front of his child that will forever be scarred. Now his son is a young teenager. I can only imagine what his son is still going through. And that is so sad that just imagine you're only 3 and you see, and most of my students have always, and I've been teaching for decades, right? My students have always looked up to law enforcement officers as some type of hero. They're going to get the bad guys, da-da-da-da-da. So for him to have seen his father portrayed as the bad guy because of a false narrative, because they pretty much with this racist system. And the thing is, when they're under the color of blue, let's be crystal clear. They're under color blue. That's a whole nother ball game. And it's sick. It is so disgusting. But to learn and feel what Abdul and his son felt like literally 2 weeks before they killed my brother. And when I heard him say, his son remembered the incident as daddy being on the ground, right? Imagine now that his son is 16 years old, right? And now, he's at the early age where you can drive, you're in high school, you want to, do good things, you want to live a long life, and then you get pulled over by a cop, right? It is so disgusting and how vulnerable that situation probably has his son. Because I think of my brother Tyrone West, right? I think of my brother Tyrone West, and I think about his children, his grandchildren, right? And even his nieces, nephews, right? His whole entire family. Every time we get pulled over, we don't know if that is going to be a situation that takes our life. That is so heartbreaking. To have been pulled into a fight when I was minding my own business, that I never signed up for this club, but I was recruited. And I am stuck in a nightmare. And I'm not just fighting for my brother, I'm fighting for all of us. Because this is not an isolated incident. It's systemically happening, like I said, it's happening all over America. And with that being said, they're comfortable now. Like their lynchers used to be putting bullets or putting tasers and beating us down with fists and batons, right? They went from that to saying, you know what? We on an orange agent time. And again, this is not West Wednesday because a lot of people are scared to speak up against them. And I'm not saying anybody in the West Coalition, I'm just speaking from my heart. The only thing I fear is God. I'm going to be crystal clear and I'll say that again. The only thing I fear is God. So I don't care how many people they send to follow me every week. I don't care how many times they harass me. It is not going to stop me. It is not going to stop me. I promise you, it is not going to stop me. As closer as I get to the truth, here comes the foolishness. And it's so sad. And that's why I can't even announce the documentary that I'm going to be a part. Because every time I think that a documentary is going to be shown, let me tell y'all how being blackballed really works. Now, I remember I've been on numerous, it ain't even about, I don't give a damn about a camera. Let's be crystal clear. All I care about and have ever cared about was to get my brother's story out there, and while his story is out there, uplift all of our families, right? Because I want to talk tonight about let's support Xavier's Hill mom, right? Like she's going fighting, she's changing stuff, she went in her own pocketbook like I did, and she's trying to change how she's pushing her son case. She lost her only son, my sister Latoya, and she's fighting like hell. She's fighting like hell, and I'll be darned if I'm going to allow her to fight by herself. I already done took that day off of work. That day is already marked on my calendar. I will be out there, and we need all your help. Just imagine somebody killed, and her son was a young man, wasn't doing nothing wrong, and was slaughtered, murdered. And you think a mother's not going to stop fighting for their baby? And my thing is that I say baby. I don't care how grown our children get, they're always our babies. I have 4 babies. I don't care if they're in adult age or not. They're all my babies. And I will run to the end of the earth for them and back. But my whole point is, why should we have to? Why is it okay for us to get lynched in America? And nobody's talking about it. And we're cool with it. But then on the other hand, if you say certain things and you ain't even being racist, then you get called anti-Semitism, whatever the hell the thing is called. It's disgusting. You can't even say nothing, but then you could be accused of being a racist or whatever. You can get suspended from your job. All type of stuff. And you ain't even saying nothing. We don't have rights like that. We are still hanging from trees. And we still don't have rights. This is modern day slavery. Read my behind parts. I'm trying to keep it neat. Read my behind parts. Ain't nothing free whereas though you can't sleep at night when your children are out because you're so worried if they're going to make it home. When any of your family members out, you don't even know if a killer cop going to come, or these people that's purging because they know that they can, because they know the first thing in a black community is we're going to say, oh my goodness, we need to stop killing us. And no suspects are never caught. No suspects are never caught. And I'm talking from my heart. I had my cousin, Trayvon Anderson, murdered by a white serial killer. And they made my family be quiet for years. And out of respect for them, I didn't say nothing. But do you know how that hurt? My cousin didn't deserve to be murdered by a white killer. Robert Schwartz, a white serial killer. It is disgusting. And we're going to keep our mouths closed and keep our behind parts in the air, keep letting them screw us over and over and over again. No, man, it's not happening. It's too much. Like, at what point is everybody going to say enough is enough? It's going to be a point where so your family member can get hooked off. And I believe, and it's not my family, this is Tawanda Jones speaking. I believe the police sent their hitter to kill my cousin. Because when my cousin got killed, it was on the night when I was on the news giving out all the information about Killer Louise. When I learned that this animal had over 3,600, not 36, 3,600 complaints. That means 3,600 people went down, gave their private information, and said, you know what? I'm going to risk it all. Because on those forms and documentations, you have to, show identification of you are who you are and where you live at. And then from that comes retaliation. So they risked it all to say, this animal is harassing me. He did this, he did that. And the fact that he murdered my brother, and I show you on this video, I don't know if y'all making the connection or not. This is a real video. I don't play it for fun. I play it. And every time I play it, I'm putting my life on the line. Do you think Killer Ruiz is standing back watching West Wednesday being happy that I'm exposing him? Do you think that? Do you know what comes with that? I'm exposing this animal every week. And what they're doing is they're plucking off people that was close to me. They got them turning on me, but I don't give a damn who turns on me, because guess what? I'm going to still stay turned up out in the streets calling them out. So let's go. But I wanted to talk about being blackballed out of documentary. That's why I said I'm not even going to announce this documentary that I'm going to be on. Or maybe it's possibility, because until I see it on the screen, I don't believe it. Because I'm tired of wasting my time with people and coming around. And the one major documentary that I thought was going to be the all-time changer. First, you already saw me on Charles Barkley. When we brought Charles Barkley to Baltimore, West Wednesday, Tawanda Jones, me, myself, and I, right? We brought Charles Barkley to Baltimore. And that was big, and I'm shocked he came. I still give him respect and prop, even though my aunt shut him down. I'm glad he came. Because we don't sell out, so just because you come, you got to come correct, right? But the fact that he came, shout out, right? But my whole point of what I'm saying is, I was going to have the biggest exposure is when somebody from Jay-Z and Beyonce reached out to me, their producer reached out to me when they were covering stories. And they covered the guy's story that had the book bag. I think his name, I can't pronounce, I'm horrible with names. Every time my brother got murdered, my brain cannot remember names. I mess people's names up, so I'm not going to say the brother's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. You know, the young man that got arrested for the book bag and spent so much of time in jail. They were covering his story. And they reached out to me, and I thought, I started shaking. I'm like, no, this can't be true. But when I verified that it was true, I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, this going to be, they're like, we see the work you're doing, Ms. Jones. We want to put your story out there. I'm like, oh my God, this is the goal. It's on and popping. I'm so excited. I can't hide it. You know what I mean? I'm excited like I don't know what. So I'm like, now the world is going to know who my brother Tyrone West is. I put time in, telling them everything that happened from the ins and the outs. I did all the telling them how I just spent $50,000 on my money to have my brother's body exhumed. Like, this is going to be the ultimate. And then I'm like, I'm a teacher. And they was like, well, do you think we could come watch your students graduate? I'm like, sure. I went to my boss and I'm like, hey, can they, can Jay-Z people come? And they're like, that's big. So the parents, everybody got excited. They signed the permission slips and, for them to come out to, do the graduation. And literally, it wasn't even 24 hours later. And everything I was getting excited. I couldn't even sleep. I felt like a kid for Christmas because I'm thinking now the world, where they wanted to cover up one unarmed man murder, now the world's about to know about Tyrone West and all of this is a police brutality. I'm so excited. And sure enough, they couldn't even call me. The main contact person dumped me through a goddamn email. We got cowards. Dumped me through an email, y'all. We ain't even good enough for people that could break up with you in your face, cut you off. They got to send you a text message, call you on the phone, whatever the case may be. But my point is, right? Follow me. My point is, I get an email. Like, normally me and this man was talking back and forth. I get an email literally saying, I'm so sorry, Miss Jones. I can't give you details. I'm really sorry. But I was told I cannot move forward with it as bad as I want to. And nothing else. And I'm like, what, huh? And when I try to respond, the email got damn sent back. Things I guess I got blocked. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. Like, that blew my mind. And then I'm like, okay, I'm still me. I'm still going to do me. Like I said, I'm not chasing cameras. I'm chasing accountability. There's a big difference. So I'm like, on with the next one, because I keep it moving. Anybody know me knows I keep it moving. I don't care how hard, how rough, or how my feelings may be hurt, or whatever the case may be, I'm going to keep it moving. The train ain't going to stop. So with that being said, I came to another big producer that was covering the Freddie Gray. And he covering Mickey Giovanni's story. I'm like, oh, he big, he huge. I went all the way out to D.C., everything. I had this man coming to numerous West Wednesdays. Mr. Joe coming to every West Wednesday, filming me. He got footage of me being at a church, doing like my personal time. Like, I'm talking about time you can't pay me for. Because I can't be bought. My time is priceless, right? Can't put a price on my time, but I sacrifice, taking off time from work. I sacrifice some even coming to my job. I sacrifice so much because I'm like, he said, this is going to be huge. When have you ever heard somebody was going not even get 10 minutes of a documentary? He told me off the top, hey, Miss Jones, we giving you 35 minutes. I'm like, look at God. And then I got dumped. I ain't get dealt with the phone call. I'm like, every time I checked in his cell, when someone was going, they said they was going to kind of release it, and it was going to be released this year when the 10-year Freddie Gray. So I'm like, all right, cool, so they hit home, let me hit him up. Hey, Joe, what's going on with you and your beautiful wife? Is the documentary still happening? And again, nothing. I'm sorry, Miss Jones, it's not happening. Whatever, baloney. So my whole point is, somebody out there is blackballing me. I don't know who it is. It's the same people that blackballed me years ago, trying to get me killed. So it's real. My whole point is, when I tell y'all something, please believe me. You're talking to a woman that don't drink, don't smoke, normal, natural, right? You're talking to me. Don't do anything. When I get upset or angry, anybody know me, I love to eat. I go grab a cheesesteak, I grab a cup of ice. Between my sub and my ice, it calms me down. Some others might grab their little J and smoke and calm their nerves down, eat their gummy, pop their pill, whatever they do, that's their business. But me, I love to eat, right? Because I like to keep my mind clear. Because you're not going to play no games with my mind, right? But all I'm saying is, when people tell you something, believe it. If they're comfortable, y'all, from lynching people from trees to people getting, murdered in broad daylight, speaking to somebody, televised, right? That's how I start to, distract you. So that way, when they come for us, they trying to keep it clean and neat. So they can say, oh, well, that was that. No, man, we not going for that. I'm not going for it. I'm sick of being blackballed. I'm sick of all the foolishness. Y'all have no idea. But yet I keep pushing forward. Nothing's going to stop me, y'all. Nothing. But it's so y'all don't know how hard it is to obtain anything. Who do you know that, okay, if they try to use the theory or the story say, oh, that family just wanted money. Who do you know kicks out money when they don't even have it? I kicked out 50,000 plus. And I say plus because it didn't stop at the 50,000. It went up a couple. I had to literally borrow the other 5K, right? But I'm talking about my money that I didn't borrow or whatever, right? I'm talking about my own money out my bank account. I kicked out 50K plus the money I borrowed, right? But the whole point is nobody does that for no money. Somebody that does that is doing it for accountability. I've been out here with y'all, and I'm so blessed for the West Coalition, so blessed to have the West family. I'm blessed for anybody, Lottie Dottie, anybody that ever supported us and always have a good heart. And, nothing, no motives. I love y'all guys. Y'all the real ones. Because when y'all make great sacrifices, I love it. Whether it's just a phone call for me, whatever it is, I love genuine people. I love loyal people, right? If you got a motive, if you got all this other foolishness going on, we only live once, guys. If you think about the word history, let's break it down. History is his story, it's her story. What is your life going to say when it all comes to an end? Let's be crystal clear. What is your life going to say? Like, are they going to be saying awful stuff because you did awful stuff and nobody's going to care? Or are they going to be saying, oh my goodness, this person would take their shirt off and give it to us, da-da-da-da-da, yada, 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 right? But my point is, make every day count. Love up on those that love up on you. And if you ever deal with somebody that fights hard and somebody try to give you like ways to separate you from them, you should never not have that person back. You can't, like, come on now, like, what? And the most of the people that turn their backs on me, I had their back to the end, right? The end. And I still love them, right? But my whole point is we have to do better. We're not in those kind of times where you think that you can hurt somebody, right? And then come back and circle around the block and then jump in like, oh, come on. No, man, we not doing that. Like, no, we not doing that. We're going to ride it out till the wheels fall off, or we not going to ride at all. Like, stop, we not going to ride at all. Let me out the car. Like, if I'm driving, you can have the car. I'll walk. That's where we at in life now. And that's where we should have always been. Ride out for those that ride out for you, that want to see you do good. Because guess what? People fail to realize when one person win, we all win. Like when we go down here on Tuesday, and I'll have Uncle Bill or Rachel or whoever that can share the time and space of where we're going at. But when we go on Tuesday to support my sister, if she wins that, do you know how huge that is? That's a win for all of us. That beautiful mother cannot get back her beautiful, handsome son, right? But if she can stop another family from feeling that kind of pain, that's a win altogether, right? I can't get back my big brother. No matter how many tears I cry, no matter what, I can't get Tyrone back, right? But if I could stop another family and or show them the way, and the only thing at this point, and I'm so glad that I'm actually being able, because everybody that reached out to me, they're like, oh my God, sis, thank you so much for showing me the way, like, because you stuck in a nightmare. I ain't had nobody show me the way. Like, I seen like a lot of beautiful mothers that been out there for decades, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm crying. Shout out to these warrior queen heroes. But I had nobody to tell me how cruddy and corrupt these people was. Right? I had to find out on my own. Maybe they wanted to tell me, but we were just, sharing at the sharing tables about losing our loved ones. But nobody had a side conversation and said, hey, sis, welcome to this club. It's a damn nightmare because not only are you going to have to watch yourself, you're a target now. You see that target on your back? Yeah, you got a target now. Not only you're a part of the family, you're a part of a target family, right? So you're going to come home, your tires going to be slick. You're going to come home, you're going to lose people that like literally was in your circle that fought with you. Now they're fighting against you. You're going to experience all that. You're going to lose loved ones that were standing there saying, I want accountability for my loved one. They're going to die. You're going to have that hurt to deal with plus that. Nobody told me. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. But guess what? Though I'm not prepared, I'm not ready, but I'm going to deal with it. I'm not that frog, y'all, that's going to sit in that pot and die. No, man. I'm on the top of that pot, trying not to fall. I got one leg in that water that's slowly boiling, demise of death, right? And I got the other side of my body because I'm trying not to fall in that damn pot. But we see the point, people so cruddy nowadays, they'll push you in the pot. When you trying to say you don't push them out the pot, and now they pushing you back in. That's the type of cruddy world we live in right now. Every man for themselves. And that's why they winning. But again, I started off, and I'm going to go to the question of comments because we got a long list of police brutality victims. And my heart was broke when I heard we had a 78-year-old person on that list, y'all. They comfortable with killing us. But again, my heart goes out to Trey Reed family. Like, that is horrible. And I'm out there trying to save my nephew, who is still suffering. They got him in prison, but the cops that murdered his daggone father walking the beat. They got my nephew, mine, gone because of what they did to his father. Nobody got held accountable. When this baby was 16 years old, when they snatched his damn father. I had to go to state to look for my baby and say, Auntie got you. I love you. And I still got my baby. But it's sad that I feel like right now, and I'm publicly saying this because I tell y'all what I want y'all to tell, what I want to tell you. And half the stuff y'all don't even know about. So don't think, oh, Jesus spills all of this. If y'all only knew Lord Jesus, y'all be like, what in the world? Hollywood couldn't make this stuff up. But I'm just personally telling y'all that people that supposed to love me or that do love me, they got them whatever kind of way. They're like killing people in my circle that really care about me and keeping them away. But guess what? God is good. I give grace. I give thanks because my eyes is open. I see a lot of things and I can accept a lot of things that I don't want to see. You can pretend like you don't see something, but at the end of the day, it's what you're going to do with what you see. But I'm just letting everybody and anybody know that when I say I got your back, I got your back. I ain't saying it because I'm putting a knife in it. I'm saying it because we riding till the wheels fall off. If I'm riding like that, well, I'm getting out the car. And if I'm driving like I told y'all can have the car, I'll walk. So with that being said, I'm about to walk onto the side and I'm going to let anybody, I think I heard my sister Kalia on here. I'm going to check in with the questions or comments. And then unfortunately, we have to go to our sad list. And before then, Uncle Bill, can you share our sister Latoya's information and location and all that good stuff about where I want and need everybody? Please, y'all, if y'all could come, whatever y'all could do, we have to have this queen back. We have to. It's mandatory. So could you please share, the information so we can come out and support Xavier? Mic check.
Mic check. For Xavier, for those in the audience that don't realize, Tawana happens to be coming in through my phone, so I can't look up the details in the phone. So I'm hoping that somebody else can do that. But we're going to D.C. to the Supreme Court. It's on Tuesday, the 23rd. I believe we need to be there at 10 in the morning. We have a choice.
I think it's 9:30. I think she said 9:30. I remember that.
Okay, thanks.
We're going to be there at 9:30, yeah.
And from Baltimore, we can drive down. Or if people want to take the MARC train, Latoya and the others who are organizing this event have arranged transportation from the MARC train to the Supreme Court. And then after the Supreme Court, I think there's going to be at another location, sort of a review of what happened and a discussion of next steps and that sort of thing. But the rest of the details, I don't have at the moment. If anyone wants to go,
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add on to that. Sorry for cutting you off, Uncle Bill.
No problem.
But I wanted to add, because I'll forget. But I wanted to add that Latoya asked that if anybody that's going, please reach out and let her or me know, because she's doing a head count, because she's actually providing lunch. Like, this sweet lady, like, oh my God, like, not only is she fighting for accountability, for her son, and to set the stage and to stand high for another family that might be facing what she's going through, she's actually providing lunch, y'all. But she want to get a head count on who needs lunch and things of that nature, so that way she could be prepared also. If you planning on going, please let me know and I will get her some numbers if it's not too late, because she been like asking for that like a couple weeks ago.
Tawanda?
But still, I'm just trying to remember everything that was, said to me. So again, sending love and healing and life to her, and then we'll be there to support her. So definitely, yes.
Our host, who's running tech for us tonight, just posted more of the details. Again, September 23rd at 9:30 at the Supreme Court, and then a workshop afterwards, which is at 12 noon. And I can read that address. It's at the Northeast Library in the DC area at 3330 7th Street Northeast. Once again, 12 noon, Northeast Library, 3330 7th Street Northeast.
Thank you for that information. Thank you so much. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to check in with the questions or comments before we go to the sad list. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Yeah, starting off with the comments, we have mic check from Angela. From Uncle Bill, very glad to be here after having to miss last week for the really important struggle here in Bmore and everywhere against racist police terror. I commented mic check, so did Super Cardio. Linda commented continuing struggles here in DC. Mainism commented mic check. I commented all levels of this capitalist system work to preserve killers when we workers are under attack. Pamela commented in response to you, Tawanda, talking about you speaking truth. Yes, you do. And facts. Super Cardio commented, it's important to be present with others who care about you. Linda commented, such a long struggle for justice. And then the last comment was the information for DC on Tuesday. Mic check.
Mic check. Awesome. And thank you, Queen, for sharing that. I definitely appreciate y'all. And shout out to everybody to comment. I'm sending y'all nothing but love and hugs. Definitely appreciate y'all support. So with that being said, the time now is like 7:53. I'm going to pretty much say our disclaimer, and we'll keep it moving for time's sake. But it is the mission of the West Coalition to not only fight for accountability for my big brother Tyrone West, we advocate for all the victims of police brutality and murder. We believe in mediation because if you can sit down together to talk about a problem, you can walk away together. And we believe in that. Unfortunately, when we read these lists tonight, both the community violence one as well as the police brutality one, which they are hand in hand, guys. They are hand in hand. That's how they play us. They want us to believe police brutality is over here and community violence is over there. Well, the devil is a liar. They are hand in hand with this racist capitalist system that we need to knock down and build it back up. It's not broke. It's working the way it should. And that's wiping us out. But we don't have any additional information about, who was involved and what happened and nothing like that. All we know that someone was murdered. And then we also know that everybody that has encounters, and you saw Abdul, you saw Darrell, you'll see my sister Dina, and you'll see different people and other witnesses that survived and had to go through the horrible thing and that could testify and say, hey, I was brutalized and I'm still here. So we know more people, that had bad encounters with police officers. They survived and they had to bear witness their own life, almost being snatched right in front of their eyes, and there's nothing that they could do. So we fight for them too. So with that being said, we just believe in love and I always say live to love, love to live. I love you all. The time is now 7:55. We will come back at 7:56. If you're into prayer, say a prayer. If not, then please just send positive because these are loved one family members. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
All right, guys, the time now is 7:56. I'm turning the mic over. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Tawanda, this is Brian. The list of Baltimore deaths this week. There have been 3 homicides in Baltimore in the past, since the last West Wednesday. Unfortunately, none of the names have been released by police yet, so we're just going to continue to, hold people in our hearts and hope to hear, hope to be able to lift up their names next week, and and support their families next week. But this week, we just, we're just going to dedicate ourselves to the fight against violence and try and carry on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Brian.
This is Kalia. I'm going to be reading the first half of our list of names of those killed by police in the U.S. We have a list of 29 names and those unknown as well. This dates from September 7th up until the 15th. The oldest person that we have on this list is 78, and the youngest that we know of is 19. So we want to make sure that we hold up the names as well and continue fighting for a world where we don't have to continue reading names of people killed by police. I'm going to start off reading the first half of this list, and then Uncle Bill will continue with the second half. On September 7th in Harrisburg, Missouri, 31-year-old male, Ty B. Lewis.
Ty Lewis.
Ty B. Lewis.
Also on the 7th in Fayetteville, Arkansas, 42-year-old male, Brandon Poulter.
Brandon
Holster.
Moving on to the 8th in Pierpont Township, Ohio, a male whose age is unknown, but whose name is Jerry Pegram.
Jerry
Pegram.
Also on the 8th in Houma, Louisiana, a 31-year-old male, Darian Riff.
Darian Riff.
Also on the 8th in Phoenix, Arizona, a 32-year-old male, O.T. Sorry about the pronunciation. I believe it's Oat T. Brooks Nalwood.
O.T.
Brooks Nalwood.
Moving on to September 9th in Blanchard, Oklahoma, a 56-year-old male, David Zimmerman.
David Zimmerman.
Also on the 9th in Brooksville, Kentucky, a 34-year-old male, Justin Gillespie. Also on the 9th in Stockton, California, a 19-year-old male, Rocco Robinson. Moving on to September 10th in Bluefield, Virginia, a male whose age and name were withheld by the police.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe.
Also on the 10th in Heartland, Maine, a male whose age is unknown, but whose name is Isaac Robinson.
Isaac
Robinson.
Also on the 10th in Lawrence, Indiana, a 25-year-old male whose name is Malachi Romy Baumgartner.
Malachi Baumgartner.
Also on the 10th in Atlanta, Georgia, a 44-year-old male, Justin Lanier. Also on the 10th in St. Augustine, Florida, 45-year-old male, Brad Sweeney. Also on the 10th in Bradenton, Florida, 61-year-old male, Michael Richard Shanto.
Michael
Richard
Shanto.
And I'll pass the second half of the list to Uncle Bill. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry to be bringing, so many horrific cases of police murder. The next one we go to occurred in Los Angeles on the 9th, 50-year-old Gustavo Ramirez.
Ramirez.
Memphis, Tennessee on the 11th, 76-year-old Augusto Colombi.
Augusto
Colombi.
In El Monte, California on the 11th, 26-year-old Juan Mercado.
Juan Mercado.
In Lubbock, Texas on the 12th, 60 years old, Jose Morales.
Jose Morales.
In West Odessa, Texas on the 12th, a man whose age and name have been withheld by the police. Ashe. In New Haven, Indiana on the 12th, again, a man whose age and name have been withheld by the police. Ashe. In Franklin Park, Illinois on the 12th, a man who was 38, Silverio. I'm sorry, it's got a hyphenated last name. Let me try to do this respectfully and pronounce it as well as I can. Silverio Villegas Gonzalez.
Silverio Villegas Gonzalez.
In Homewood, Alabama on the 12th, a man who was 53, James Daniel.
James Daniel.
In St. Louis, Missouri on the 13th, a man whose age and name have been withheld by the police.
Ashe.
In Gainesville, Florida on the 13th, a man who was 55, Darian Holmes.
Darian Holmes.
In Pearlington, Mississippi on the 14th, a man who once again has his age and name have been withheld by the police.
Ashe.
Thank you. In Pueblo, Colorado on the 14th, a man who once again has had his name and his age withheld by the police.
Ashe.
In Centennial, Colorado on the 14th, a 28-year-old man, Travis Barrett.
Travis Barrett.
And Tawanda spoke earlier about a man who was mercilessly killed by the police, 78 years old, in Hillendale, California on the 15th, Anthony Benino. And we end our horrific list this evening in Anaheim, California, again on the 15th, with a man whose age and name have been withheld by the police. Ashe. And that concludes this sad necessity of making everyone aware of how pervasive this problem is. Mic check.
Mic check.
So again, I want to thank each and every last one of you. So like some reason I'm losing my voice just weirdly out the blue. I'm starting to sound like a man, so y'all gotta forgive me, y'all. My Tony voice coming on. But anyway, it's just sad, that anyone on any list is disgusting. But to learn that the youngest victim, the 19, and the eldest victim was 8, like imagine living 78 years just to be killed by a police officer. That is disgusting. And imagine being at the tender age of 19 and being murdered by people that's supposed to serve and protect when they're serving and protecting themselves. It's sad, it's disgusting, and it's a big problem. And it's not only a big problem, it's our problem. It's our problem. And so to do something to get people in the comfortability of that you can, kill somebody at the age of 78 years old. They can, go through all type of health ailments or anything. None of that wipes nobody out, but I could just come take their life. And then they say the police officers act within reason, because that's what they always say. That's always their conclusion, their reason. Like, they act within reason. So that's the story. So with that, live to love. I love you all for bringing us through. Thank you, Sister Kalia. Thank you, Uncle Bill. Thank you, Brother Brian. Thank you to the whole entire West Coalition. Thank you to Lottie, Dottie, and anybody that's tonight. Thank you so much. Live to love to live. We want cell blocks for killer cops. We can't stop. We won't stop until killer cops are in cell blocks. Mic check.
Mic check.
And Mr. West begging for his life, and Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No, why you
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said, police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's attorney see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the Officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, We see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.